And we welcome all of you into what is our Football Friday edition of the show from an absolutely raucous Nashville Christian High School. Nashville Christian taking on BGA tonight. And as you all can tell, when you see the shot of the student body, and here it comes, they are ready and raring to go. Let's get the cheerleaders to get all this started. Okay, so as we look around this auditorium, let me see all the signs up real quick. Okay, we've got one in the left corner that says it's easier to get Taylor Swift tickets than a BGA touchdown. By the way, in case you all didn't know, I went to BGA.
That was a long time ago, George.
Yeah, it was before Nixon. The fatheads, Billy.
Yep.
Did you ever think you would see those ugly fatheads?
No, we need to throw those in the trash.
Wow. Wow, that's a little harsh. Okay, real quickly, before we bring Jeff Brothers in to talk some football, there are way more of you in here than the noise that we've heard so far. I want to hear you all for about 10 seconds, as loud as this building can get. Go. Okay, now let's give your football coach a little bit of applause. This is Jeff Brothers. So, Jeff, when we concocted this idea, this student body took it to a gold standard. This is exactly what we wanted. Maybe not the fatheads. This is awesome.
It's exactly what we wanted, including the fatheads.
Oh, my Lord.
This is Nashville Christian, George. I mean, if you get one of us, you get all of us. It really is a family atmosphere here, and we're excited about football, but we're excited about the school year and all the things that are going on here at school, and just to see all these faces and to know that tonight's going to be an exciting night. It's really good to have you guys here on campus and see a little glimpse of what Nashville Christian's about.
Oh, this is awesome. So last Friday night, you all played what is considered a neutral site game in Chattanooga against one of the real Georgia powers.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask about the score, but what was the experience like?
Well, it was calculated in that we wanted to travel to Chattanooga and play a game at the site and at the same time as our state championship game. So if we had the opportunity to get back there again, this team would have sort of a dress rehearsal for that. But they kept score, and so it mattered, and we had a good game plan put together, and I thought our kids fought hard. We had 2 touchdowns called back in the first half for penalty, and we had a missed field goal that was certainly a makeable opportunity. So we left 17 points on the table in the first half, and that it made it feel like it was a little bit further away than it probably actually was. But the whole experience was good. Just to go down there and just get a little feel for the place and the time of day was good for this football team, and we'll see if it pays off in time.
So what was it like walking back into a stadium where you all have had such a great memory?
Well, I mean, we've had good memories in terms of being there, but we've had a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth that we haven't come away with the gold ball from Chattanooga. When we won ours, it was in Cookeville, and so we were hoping to get back down there November the 30th and change those fortunes. But between now and then, there's a whole lot of other opponents out there that we need to pay attention to, or else we won't even have the opportunity to make that right. And that starts tonight with a really good BGA team.
Tell me a little bit about your quarterback. I hear he is something special.
Yeah, well, he's a very talented young man, and he's certainly done a lot of good things to put himself in position to earn the opportunities and the accolades that he's got. But he also is very much a team player, and he recognizes that the players around him and their performance are just as important as his. And I was talking to him the other day, and I said, there's an old saying that all boats rise with the tide. And I said, you're not the big shiny boat in the harbor, you are the tide. And so when you're up, we're up. And when you're down, we're down. So it's important for him to stay positive, to keep working, and to keep pushing these guys forward to accomplish great things just as he has.
So as he tries to go down the road in the next year and a half of the recruitment process, which can get really crazy, in particular if you're a quarterback, how much do you think you can help, given that you played college football at Vandy? You've been through all this. That's got to be some help.
Well, I hope so. I hope we can just, give him some wisdom as he goes along. And, it's a different world than it was, 30 years ago when I did it. But just the main message I give him all the time is just to have fun. Just keep having fun. You're only a kid and this, going around this high school thing one time. And if you get to thinking and focusing too far in advance, then you miss the moment right now. And he's been really good about that, having a great time at practice, really enjoying the same friends he had before all this happened. He hasn't got any new friends that he didn't have before all this happened. It's all just the same group of guys doing the same stuff. And, he's obviously gained a lot of attention, but he still is very much in the moment and in this place. And that's really the message to him, is to enjoy this time.
Tell me about BGA.
A good football team, a strong program. Coach Rodriguez obviously is a really good football coach. They're coming off a big win last week over Maplewood, where they kind of put a lot of things together offensively. So we got to see what some of their offensive weapons, look like. I think they're a team kind of like us. It's kind of poised to push forward in their season. And, we're going to have to come out tonight and correct a lot of our own mistakes, a lot of self-inflicted wounds the first couple of weeks. We got to take care of this, the old football adage, take care of the football, score points when you get in the red zone. Just out-execute the opponent would be the key to victory, and that's what they try to do as well.
They appear to know that I went there.
Yes, well, you've said it a few times. So
yeah, I have.
I see that you went there, but you also have you're showing some intelligence by wearing a Nashville Christian shirt while you're sitting up here. So
absolutely.
At least you got that part right.
Billy and I both, if it's free, it's us. Mm-hmm. Now, what you didn't know was that we are going to dare to go out into the crowd.
Oh, wow.
And get 3 or 4 questions for you.
Okay.
So let's see how this plays out. This might be really interesting. Mark, get close where we can see you, hear you, all that kind of stuff. Let's see what we got out of the audience.
We've got Kendall Quinn from, where are you from, Kendall? Fairview. Come on up here, get on camera. Kendall has a question for you, Coach Brothers.
Well, hold on a second. Let's find out. Kendall, how did you get roped into this?
He asked me. I think he feels bad because he rejected my sign.
He rejected your sign?
Sigh. It may work on her dad, but it doesn't work on me.
Okay, got it. Go.
What you got, Kendall?
What's your pregame superstition?
My pregame superstition is that every Friday I always eat Jersey Mike's, a number 8 mini on white with Miss Vickie's sea salt and vinegar chips and a sweet tea every Friday.
Holy cow. Okay. Where did that come from?
I think when I first started here 14 years ago, the Jersey Mike's that was up there in Bellevue proper was just close by, and I went and got a sandwich, and things have gone well. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. So every Friday we make the trip to Jersey Mike's, and we ought to have a sponsorship by now. But,
I would think so.
we enjoy going up there on Fridays, and it's always, a tradition to sit up here and eat my sandwich and get ready for the game.
When was the last time you didn't do that?
Last Friday, because we were in Chattanooga.
Oh, my God. So that was big.
That was big. So we fixed it today. Hopefully it'll come back around.
Mark, who you got out there?
Next up, I got Logan Shoemaker from Dixon County.
What's up, Logan?
All right.
If you could coach one other sport other than football, what would it be?
Hold on. Do you play football? No, okay. Okay.
Logan's a wrestler and an MMA guy, as a matter of fact.
Oh, so we do not want to screw with Logan,
I wouldn't mess with him. But if I could coach another sport, I've coached a lot of sports, Logan. I've coached girls basketball, I've coached track, I've coached baseball, I've coached softball. I played baseball growing up, so I guess if Coach Rayburn would have me, if I wasn't coaching football, I might help with baseball.
And here's the other thing. Comes from a very athletic family. His mom she basically ran Vanderbilt football for about
38 years.
38.
Yep.
Beverly Brothers is one good human being. Is she watching this?
I imagine she is.
Is she?
She's aware, so I'm sure she's watching.
Beverly, hope you're doing well. Who else we got out of the audience?
All right, next up we got Raylan Heitman from Dixon County, too.
All right, Raylan.
What is your favorite college football team?
Vanderbilt, of course. I played at Vanderbilt, but I don't really have a college football team per se. I just enjoy watching college football, but I do go to a lot of Vanderbilt games and cheer for those guys because it's obviously very dear to me.
Okay, do you want to find out where your student body sits on this?
Sure.
Okay, how many of you in the room are big Vanderbilt fans?
Let's go.
Good Lord, that wouldn't have paid the light bill. Okay, how about Big Orange?
You see that here, kitty, kitty sign, George?
Yes. Okay. Coach Rodriguez loses sleep thinking of DCS. NCS, sorry.
DCS,
what did I say? DCS, that different school.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Okay. So you've survived questions out of the audience.
Sure, thank you.
You've survived the interview.
Yep.
Are all these people coming to your game tonight?
I certainly hope so. It's a great night for football. It'll be the first cool evening we've had, and I think if everybody shows up tonight, that'll give us the extra little something we need to get past a good BGA team. So hope to see everybody at the game tonight. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Come be loud and be excited. I think it's Jersey night. Is that right? So wear your jerseys and support the Eagles.
How many of you are coming to the game tonight?
Who all's coming to the game tonight? Yeah. Good.
Okay. Excellent.
Good deal.
Jeff, thank you.
All right. Thanks, George. Thanks, guys. See you tonight.
Okay. I think we're going, Billy, if I've got it right, to our first break.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen-printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom-cut acrylic, name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen-printed T-shirts, laser-engraved Yelly cups, and knives. Recognize your hard-working team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs. Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. We are back at Nashville Christian. Before we get back to all the fun of Football Friday, let me say hello to Chip Ward, who joins us. Brand new sponsor on the show through Chip Ward Mortgage. Chip, how are you?
Hey, George, how are you guys doing?
Well, it's a loony bin in here. It's exactly what I hoped it would be when we put this idea together. You'd be proud. They've got some great signs, one of which says it's easier to get Taylor Swift tickets than a BGA touchdown.
The Ron McCleary, the defensive coordinator over at Nashville Christian, is a friend of mine.
And they're doing some great things over here. Tell me a little bit about your business.
Well, we're with Lincoln Home Loans. We're in the home mortgage business. And I was just going to tell you real quick, my wife and I just bought a home. We are in this business. Interest rates are high, but we did so because even though the interest rates are high, there's less competition on homes out there right now. So people are getting better deals. And people are coming to me in the pre-approval process to buy this fall, knowing that there'll be less competition. And then later on down the road, they can probably refinance to a better rate. So that's kind of what we're doing, working with people right now.
Chip, if somebody hears this and they're really interested, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, it's real easy. chipward.net, CHIPWARD.net, or 615-500-7579.
Beautiful. Look forward to having you with us. We'll talk again here very soon.
Thanks, Chip.
Well, thanks what you're doing. Thanks what you're doing out there at Sport High School football.
Oh, absolutely. Enjoying it. That's Chip Ward from Chip Ward Mortgage. Billy, it is time now for us to get to players to watch tonight around high school football in this area. And to the crowd that's in here, you might want to pay attention when we get to the final person.
All right, George, we're going to start with Ravenwood as we get to past games of the week. We're starting with Ravenwood running back Carter Pace. Carter Pace, 104 yards on 16 carries last week and scored 1 touchdown in the Raptors' 35-7 win over Cane Ridge. They will play Blackman tonight, so looking forward to that one. But Carter Pace is the first player to watch for the week. All right, up next, we're going to go with Landrick Majewski from Independence. Provided the game-winning field goal last week against Page in triple overtime. He drilled a 24-yarder, plenty of good punts as well. Another big game tonight against Centennial. So Landrick Majewski, one of our players to watch as well. And, George, this is a great story. Glencliff quarterback Eric Thomason, they broke a 37-game losing streak last week.
37.
They beat Republic 44-6. They lost last night to Ezo Harding, but I wanted to give credit to Glencliff and their quarterback Eric Thomason for breaking a 37-game losing streak.
Okay, now the last one on here should get this crowd's attention.
It should. It is Mr. Jared Curtis, quarterback here at Nashville Christian, 6'3". There you go. 6'3", 210-pound sophomore, 4-star, according to 24/7 Sports, has offers from everybody you can think of, George. So he's a fun player to watch, and he's still a really young player as well. So a bright future ahead for him. And this school is, I'm sure, very proud of Mr. Curtis.
Just a sophomore.
Yep, it's incredible.
Wow. Jeff Brothers happy about that, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. It's time now for a little Metro Police talk with Officer Garren Hoskins, who joins us here. So you're kind of like me. You think they could take this to a little next level.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, today you guys got a ball game today, and everybody's excited for it. So can I get a let's go Eagles? Let's go Eagles! There we go. I like it. I love it. That's a Friday night for you, George.
Well, you know what? When we put this together, this is a little bit of what we hoped would happen.
Absolutely.
Is that student bodies would really get into this. Here, kitty, cage the cats, the fat heads, which are a little shocking.
I mean, they look great.
They do. They've done a terrific job here. We skipped Bible for this. Wow. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is good. Okay, so you were telling me, and I didn't get the full gist of it, the 30-30 program. What's that about?
Yeah, so that's one of our programs that I've been meaning to mention on our department is we have a 30-by-30 program. And again, in previous episodes, I've told you about how I want our police department, and Chief Drake wants our police department to mirror what the city looks like. And our 30-by-30 program is a program where we want 30% of our police department to be female by the time we hit 2030. And there's a big reason for that. We not only recruit soldiers, we recruit college athletes, we recruit college students, but a big part of our police department is it's not nowadays it's not strictly males out there. You need to have females. Females play an intricate part on our police department. And again, our police department wants to be mirroring what the city looks like. And our city is not all male. There are females out there that can use a female officer to talk to and be able to work through stuff.
What is it that you have to kind of break through to get the females to understand that they've got a real role in this?
You know, there's stories out there. My sergeant is a female. My deputy chief is a female. And it's in such a male-dominated career, I guess you would say, as modern times go, policing has changed. I mean, policing's changed since the 50s to now. And, you want to keep up with the times and recruit for the future. And, the future of our police department, again, we want 30% by 2030. And so we recruit hard for that. But not only do we recruit hard for that, we recruit hard for anyone. This is a special job. It takes a special person to do it.
So have you all made breakthroughs?
Absolutely. It's funny. I'll go to a college or a university and I'll have females that come up to me and say, hey, this is always something that I've thought I've been interested in, and I'm just not really sure that I could get into it. And I talk about all the ways and provide many resources for them to reach out to other people, including myself, and learn more about the police department and realize that we're looking for strong, independent women. But at the same time, we look for many, many people of all different walks of life to join our police department and make it great.
It's interesting you bring all of this up. And by the way, if any of you out there would like to talk with Officer Hoskins, once we get through with this segment, feel free to. He'll stick around for a few minutes. But I remember getting into the broadcast business, and females had virtually no shot at it 40 years ago. There were all kinds of barriers. And I look now and I go back to a Gail Gardner or a Susie Colbert, Holly Rowe. I'm not saying that it's not harder, but it's no longer impossible.
Absolutely. It's not impossible. And you'll get the same type of training as any officer out there. So I highly encourage, if there is a female out there that has thought, this is something I've always thought I want to do but can't do it, reach out to us. Join MNPD.com. Reach out to myself, Officer Garren Hoskins, Officer Ashton Hill, Officer Larry Williams, Officer Angeline Camilla. We're all on the recruitment team tab on the website. Reach out to any one of us and we will help you along, no matter what race you are, what gender, or what kind of background you come from. We are looking for good people, and our department is soaring in recruitment efforts right now. So right now is a great opportunity to join our police department.
So based on what I've learned over the last month or so, you all are very progressive in what it is you're trying to do under Chief Drake to try to recruit new officers. Are you all ahead of the curve as far as what most of the departments around the country are doing?
We're absolutely ahead of the curve, and I'm not afraid to say it. We outwork many, many police departments out there when it comes to recruiting. We're out there all over the country, all over Middle Tennessee and Tennessee as a whole and surrounding states. So there's no place we won't go, and there's no college classroom or high school classroom we won't go to teach about how good the police department is here and how great it is to serve the city and the community of Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, before I let you go, give me maybe one or two pieces of police news that I ought to know about.
Police news that you will know about?
No, that I ought to know about. Stuff you want to share with the community.
As far as the police department goes as a whole, we're one of the highest paying agencies in Tennessee, not to mention our training is top notch. I mean, you won't get better training anywhere else you go in regards to communication, tactics, anything like that. But when it comes to serving the community, this police department does it right. And we're out there to serve every time.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good Labor Day weekend.
I will.
A safe one.
It will be long. And let's go Eagles, right? Let's go Eagles. Enjoy your game.
Okay, they have been great. We knew. Thank you all. Hey, y'all make some noise. Thank you. Y'all have been a great student body. Want to take a moment and thank the administration from Nashville Christian for the way they set this up. And yes, Gary Van Natta is here, ready to rock and roll. I love it. We'll go to the break. When we come back, we'll find out about the 3 or 4 biggest games that are going on around this area besides tonight's Nashville Christian BGA game. So, Football Friday continues after this.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday. Looking for more than just awards and trophies? Southern Trophy House is your one-stop solution. For over 60 years, their team has created lasting impressions with a personalized touch. From embroidery to screen-printed apparel to corporate awards, signs, and name badges, they have everything you need to keep your brand shining bright. With their knowledgeable customer service team, you can relax as they create, produce, pack, and ship merchandise and awards on time and on budget. That includes etched crystal awards, custom-cut acrylic, name badges, embroidered Richardson ball caps, banners, screen-printed T-shirts, laser-engraved Yelly cups, and knives. Recognize your hard-working team from Southern Trophy House, where they do their best to help you recognize your best. Located at 2705 Nolensville Pike in Nashville, give them a holler, 615-256-7295. Visit southerntrophy.com. Southern Trophy House, for all your personalization and recognition needs. Well, it's gotten a little quieter in the auditorium as we welcome all of you back to Football Friday. Billy, would you like to have one of these plaster fatheads?
I'm good, George.
Well, fine.
I
don't want you to have it anyway. That's mine. I'm proud of it. Let's say hello to George Robinson, who does a great job covering high school football for the Tennessean. You'll read him throughout the week. George, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you, George?
Good, good. I want to ask before we get into the games, Pearl Cone has now had 2 victories that have really gotten people's attention. They've gone to MBA in one. They've gone to CPA in one. I think I can answer my own question, but how good are they?
Very, very, very good. This is a team that, Coach Tony Brunetti, during the summer months, he kind of wanted to take it easy. I mean, they practiced hard, but in terms of hitting, tackling, full contact, they did a little bit of that. But I think Tony Brunetti knows what he has this year, And I think he didn't want to sort of wear them out physically before games even started. I think part of the issues last year, maybe why they came up short in that Class 4A state championship game, was they had so many nagging injuries. And, but they certainly had the talent. I think they ended up losing to Anderson County 34-30 in that championship game. So they have just about it. They had everybody coming back from that team, just about everybody coming back from that team from last year. So I think they knew they had a real good shot to get back to that state title game and possibly win it. And I just think, during the summer, he didn't really want to, push his kids to the brink of exhaustion before the season even started. So I think he's kind of reaping the benefits right now at 2-0 and playing very, very well.
George, how close are they to being the best team in Nashville?
I mean, I think you could make an argument that they are the best team in Nashville. I mean, I know Lipscomb Academy would have a say in that, and rightfully so. They're 0-2, but they faced two of the tougher teams in the nation in IMG Academy, and then going down to Saraland, Alabama last week, and ended up losing that game in overtime because they just missed the extra point. They could easily they probably should be 1-1 right now. I don't know anybody in Tennessee that's beaten IMG Academy. They had 16 or 17 FBS Division I Power 5 recruits on their team. So, but I think Pearl Cone is playing as good as anybody in this state right now. And that's include the east side of the state, the west side of the state, down in Chattanooga with Baylor. They're very good. Pearl's playing as good as anybody.
George, let's go to our games of the week now. Brentwood and Hendersonville. Of course, a lot of tradition as well as Brentwood, and Brentwood has gotten off to a solid start. Tell us about this matchup tonight.
Yeah, this is the game I'll be at tonight. So anybody going to that game, I'll see you there. Hendersonville's been playing really well, particularly offensively. They put up 47 points and 54 points last week, 47 in week one. But I think this game for Hendersonville, this Brentwood game, is going to be their first big test of the season. Brentwood's coming off of that big time emotional win last week against Brentwood Academy, in which their quarterback, their transfer kid from Florida, Baylor Hayes, led them in that fourth quarter on that comeback and that rally attempt. And really, Brentwood's been playing really well. I think this is going to be a really good game. I do think Brentwood probably pulls this one out. Just because of the level of competition that they faced the first 2 weeks as compared to Hendersonville. But I had to give Hendersonville credit. They've had a little bit of distraction coming into the season with their stadium issues. Several Sumner County schools have had stadium issues. But they managed to put together a very strong start to the season. So I think it's going to be a good game. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentwood pulls this one out.
All right, up next, George, let's go to a big one tonight. Big one every year. Mount Juliet at Gallatin. Over there at Gallatin, the Green Wave faithful are going to be fired up for that one. And we know every time these two teams get together, it's going to be a battle, it's going to be a clash, and it's going to be fun to watch. Tell us about this one tonight.
Yeah, this one's always a heated contest, a heated battle between these two schools and their fan bases and the players. The players, they know each other so well. They play each other just about every year. Obviously Mount Juliet has Tyler Travers, their quarterback, who's gotten some college football looks. Some FCS schools have looked at him. Some FBS schools have looked at him. He's coming off of 2 straight weeks of just really solid play. And you're going up against the Gallatin team that certainly likes to run the ball. Ball control is kind of the name of the game for them. I think it's two kind of contrasting styles offensively. But I do think Mount Juliet's defense has been a bit better so far this year. And that's why I would probably give them an edge.
All right, George, next one up, Centennial and Independence. And there's a lot of buzz for this one as well. Great week of high school football as you look at these matchups. I feel like I said the same thing last week and the week before, but I mean, there's so many good matchups, especially early in the season with a lot of tradition. Centennial, improved team, right? First year head coach. We mentioned them. Independence, always a ton of talent. So tell us about this one.
Right, and you know, you look at Centennial, and they even have a transfer quarterback in Elijah Nevis, who transferred from Columbia Academy. But you know, they've really been getting it done on the ground. They got two incredible running backs in Tanner Lee and Dominic Reed. I'm a little surprised that Reed has really sort of outplayed Lee so far. So far during the early part of the season. Dominic Reed has, I think, 9 touchdowns, something like that in the first 2 games. Yeah, he had 4 in week 1. I think he had 4 last week, so 8. So he's just been incredible. And in Independence, you know, you look at this team, and they lost their quarterback in Cody Pagak, who ended up transferring to Alcoa. Alcoa's won like 8 or 9 straight state championships in Class 3A. So they don't have him, but I do think this is going to be a very, very close game. I think I have Centennial pulling this one out. It's like you said, just a lot of really good high school football games this week.
All right, last one up. Let's go over to Metro in the Green Hills area. Hillsboro hosting Stewart's Creek High School, a program that has improved a lot over the last few years. And obviously we know all the talent Hillsboro has. This is an intriguing matchup, George. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this one tonight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people weren't sure whether or not, this would be one of the top games during week 3, coming into the season. Hillsboro's struggled a little bit over the past few years, but they have just been it feels like they've turned a corner. I was just at a game last night with Antioch and Cane Ridge, and Antioch's struggles have been well documented, and they did a 22-game losing streak. That program felt like they're turning the corner. I think Hillsboro sort of feels the same way. They're coming into this game with a couple of wins under their belt and feeling good, and they got to face a very good Stewart's Creek team, that certainly likes to run the ball as well. I think, one of the keys to Hillsboro's to their success so far has been Kike Baker, who's been a huge, who's just been a huge player for them so far this year, and he's a difficult matchup on both sides of the ball. I think he, plays tight end. He's also a defensive end as well, and he's just, he's been playing lights out. They beat Overton last week, 49-7. I do think that they pulled this one out, and if they can go to 3-0 going into week 4, that's an impressive start for a Burroughs team that, like I said, had some struggles the past few years, and beating a Stewart's Creek team, a very, very good Stewart's Creek team at that, would say a lot.
George, we've got a situation, and I don't know when the last time this happened was. MBA is 0-2. Brentwood Academy is 0-2. I don't pretend to know when the last time that occurred, but let me try it this way with you. Which of those two is the most likely to come back to the form we're used to?
I think Brentwood Academy probably is closest to getting back to form. And you have to remember, Brentwood Academy, they lost to CPA in week 1. They lost to Brentwood last week. They had leads in both of those games. They had double-digit leads in both those games. They just couldn't figure out a way to sort of put all 4 quarters together and put the team away. And they allowed Brentwood to kind of come back in that 4th quarter and put up a couple of touchdowns that ended up and then they had their field goal blocked at the end. It was about a 41-yarder, but with London Baronis as your kicker, you have to figure, if you're blocking up front is good, he's gonna drill that kick. So that game probably should have went into overtime. But so I think Brentwood Academy is probably in a better position to come back to form. NBA just lost a lot from last year. And they got to go against a very good MUS team out of Memphis. And I just don't. I don't see. I don't see a path for them to be able to pull that game out tonight. But I do think Brentwood Academy has an opportunity to get back in the win column. They have, obviously 5-star quarterback in George McIntyre. We've talked a lot about him. We've talked a lot about his new weapons there in T.T. Hill from Oakland and transfer from Oakland, and the Shavar Young kid that transferred from Knoxville. So, they have. I think Brentwood Academy is in the best position to kind of recover and get back to playing the kind of football that I think Eagles fans are used to from them.
George, you've been great on this show in the first 3 weeks that we have done this. Where can they read you? How can they read you?
Well, obviously, I'm on the Tennesseans website. You can go to Tennessean.com and check me out on sports pages, high school sports section of that. I do cover a little bit of everything if I'm called on to do so. That might include occasionally, a few times, maybe some Titans things. I've done very, very few Predators. I don't think they want me anywhere near the Predators. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about hockey to be able to successfully pull that off, and at least not for an extended amount of time. I've done some things with Nashville FC, who's had a great year this year as well. But certainly you can find me there, and I'm on the X platform, I guess is what they call it now. The X platform used to be called Twitter. I still like to call it Twitter, but Elon Musk, I guess, in his infinite wisdom, felt like he needed to change the name to X. So I'm on the X platform at Cville_sports. So you can follow me there. Certainly on our Tennessee and Instagram page, we'll be posting highlights, video highlights from tonight's game. Like I said, I'll be at Hendersonville for the Brentwood game. We'll be posting highlights on the X platform and on Tennessee and Instagram, and certainly check us out on Tennessean.com for our stories, our photos, or galleries, and our video highlights every Friday night.
George, you're a good man. Appreciate it, and you do great work. Thank you for sharing all the info today.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, George.
George Robinson covers it well for the Tennessean. You take a look at him this weekend. Take a look at what it is he does. In a couple of minutes, we're going to get into something that the parents need to hear. It's our weekly Star Physical Therapy health tip, and this one is going to get knee-deep into concussions. The truth of the matter is, when I approached Kelly Ziegler, who played football at the University of Tennessee, this is one of the things I wanted to be able to do, was to get a health tip, something important, where whether the kids right now are listening to this stuff or not, the parents need to. And Billy, there's nothing more important than the concussion world.
Yeah, George. I mean, we talked about it the last couple of weeks with Star Physical Therapy, and these health tips hopefully have helped some people out. I've learned a couple of things with these health tips. We've had Holly Taylor on, so always good to hear. But George, we've got Wade Bartlett on the line.
Beautiful, Wade. How you doing?
Very good, sir. Thank you very much.
And thank you for your willingness to share some info here. I remember a time where concussions were viewed as somebody got their bell rung and people laughed. Nobody's laughing anymore, are they?
No, I've been doing this certified since 1993, and we've changed dramatically how we treat these and manage concussions. Before, you just kind of sat them out for 15 minutes and they looked pretty good. You let them go back in, and that's just not the way it is done today. And with any type of concussionary signs or symptoms that is suspected, the athlete is removed immediately and referred on to a physician.
Wade, what kind of laws do we now have on concussions?
Well, the state of Tennessee in 2014 passed a state law. They followed basically the law that was established in Washington State after a young man unfortunately had a concussion that caused him to have permanent problems, and his parents pushed the state legislature of Washington to create a concussion law. And over the course of the years, the other states in the union have actually followed up with that. High School Federation really began with it, and the TSSAA was kind of in the forefront of it. And in 2011, created a protocol that stated if any signs or symptoms are suspected, that the athlete would be removed. The best part about this is it's a checkoff. Also, not only do the parents have to acknowledge it when they sign off for their kids to participate, the coaches have to sign off, but also the athletes themselves. Education has been the key part of all concussion management.
Wade, in the early going of all this, we had some really awkward moments where you would see, and even on the NFL level, where it was obvious that something wasn't right with a player, and yet, 2 minutes later, they're allowed back in the game. Have we progressed to the point where that's not really happening, whether it's the NFL or high school? Talk to me about that.
I believe the more educated and the more the media and we as healthcare providers have promoted the treatment, recognition is probably the key word, recognition of a concussion and a traumatic brain injury, that we've noticed it, and with the education of possible long-term effects. That's the key thing. It's a possible long-term effect. There's no set number saying, your first you get 3 concussions, you never play again. And the more we've educated ourselves, the more the world has come together at these World Concussion Symposiums that take place about every 4 to 5 years. The better protocols and practice care of action has taken place.
So ultimately, let's just say tonight in a game, wherever it may be, that we end up with something where it looks shaky with a kid, and there's a feeling that there is a concussion that has gone on. What steps does a player have to get through before a doctor clears him?
Well, the first thing, at any, and this is not only just like tonight at high school games. Tonight, if there's a designated healthcare professional, could be a certified athletic trainer, which is what I am, a licensed nurse practitioner, a physician assistant, an MD or DO who has been the designated healthcare provider for that game or for that school is on site. They can determine whether or not a concussion has been sustained. And if one has been sustained, they are removed. If there's not a designated person at that particular school and they show signs and symptoms, they are removed immediately. That's probably the strength of the law of the state of Tennessee, that the TSSAA has come right alongside of it is it takes any of the question out of our hand, because the law states if you show signs or symptoms of this, the player is removed, and there's no ifs, ands, and buts. And once that's happened, they're in concussion protocol, and they must get cleared by an MD or a doctor of osteopathic medicine or a clinical neuropsychologist with concussion training. Those are the only 3 people that can clear somebody to come back after a concussion has been initially diagnosed and they've been removed from a game.
Okay, this is clearly a really important topic, and so I'm going to ask you a couple of more things, and thank you for your patience on some of the stupid stuff that I get into. But if a parent this weekend suspects that their football playing son, that there's something not right, what do they do?
I would say the first thing they should do is to, if they got an athletic trainer that's works with their team at a high school level or whatever, contact them. If they don't, I would contact your pediatrician or your family doctor, and make an appointment. It's better to get checked out and to have them say, no, they're okay, they don't have a concussion. Trying to toughen it out is the mistake. And that's the part that when I deal with these athletes, my biggest thing is to educate the athlete of, you're the only one that can truly tell me how you feel. If you got a screaming headache and every time you go in the sun, it gets worse. Every time you hear loud noises, it gets worse. I can't tell that. You can tell that. If you got a sprained ankle and your ankle is a balloon and you walk with a limp, I can see that very easily that you're not ready to play. I can't tell on this. And so that's why having good conversations with your medical staff, your coaches, and your parents is the key. And if a parent suspects something's not right and that little alarm clock goes off in mom and dad, I always say it's better to get them checked out before you go anyplace else.
Oh, amen. Okay, leave me. Hopefully I've asked some of the important things here. I've probably missed something. Give me one last thought on this, and thank you for the time.
My biggest thing is don't ever be afraid to pull somebody out when you suspect a concussion, because maybe it's hot and you're humid and they're low on blood sugar, maybe they're dehydrated and they're having the same type of signs and symptoms, but take them out and get them looked at. Take them out and take that time, because the mistake you make, if it happens again and they get a really bad hit, maybe the second time, and maybe they got a slight concussion going on, and you just think, well, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. And it happens. We're talking life-changing experiences, and nobody wants to go through that. And so my thing is, when in doubt, sit them out. And if you have any questions, you can always go to the CDC. You can always call Star Physical Therapy. You can email me, wade.bartlett@starpt.com. I'm more than happy to send information back. The TSSAA has done a great job of stuff on their website, and also National High School Federation. I would suggest all parents go look at that stuff.
This is a terrific public service that you have given us over the last 8-10 minutes. Hope you have a great weekend, and hope that everybody playing tonight is safe and sound. Wade, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. You guys have a great night.
Wade Bartlett, Star Physical Therapy. He knows his stuff. And Billy, this has become a topic that just simply will not go away.
Yeah, it's gotten even closer and closer, for the microscope. Remember 10 years ago, concussion was not something you even really brought up. As Kelly says, it was suck it up, get back out on the field. You're fine. You'll be all right. Rub some dirt on it. But now, no, when in doubt, get checked, get tested, and let's make sure you don't have one, and you go back out there. So.
You can take it even farther back. When I was growing up, it was almost laughed at. It was the Joe got his bell rung.
Yep.
And that's the way they said it.
Yeah, it was a cool thing. It was a funny type thing, but it's serious now. So.
Not funny anymore.
No.
Southern Trophy House helps us greatly with Football Friday, as we create each week a player of the week. Billy, who is that player of the week?
Player of the week this week is Brentwood quarterback Baylor Hayes. He had a phenomenal game when his team needed him the most. They were able to beat Brentwood Academy last week, something that rarely ever happens, right? Brentwood being a public school in Williamson County, it's tough to go up against a private school like a Brentwood Academy and beat them, but they did. He was phenomenal with his legs and through the air. I mean, go watch some of the videos. George Robinson actually has a lot of good posts on his performance last week. It was a crazy game. So Baylor Hayes, Brentwood quarterback, after the upset of Brentwood Academy, is our player of the week.
They hate each other.
Yeah, they do. They do. But credit to Brentwood. I mean, like I said, that's not easy to do, to go over and beat Brentwood Academy right there on Granny White Pike. So credit to them. And Brentwood Academy is 0-2. Brentwood 2-0.
Yeah, how about that? So they blocked it. Was it a field goal at the buzzer that they blocked to hold on to the win?
I'm really not exactly sure. They tried a field goal try in the final seconds, and yeah, I think you're right, George. They had it blocked, and Brentwood won 21-18. So that would have tied the game, and I would assume send it to overtime.
Yeah.
So with 6 seconds to go, they were only left with one option: a field goal of around 40 yards, and they ended up missing. And I would assume Brentwood probably got a hand on that kick, and they did a great job of getting the win. So congrats to Baylor Hayes. Phenomenal performance to beat Brentwood Academy.
As we conclude the high school coverage that we do during the 2 to 3 o'clock hour, want to thank the folks at Nashville Christian School, in particular, head coach Jeff Brothers, who I have known, for 40 years plus, for the cooperation, for the creativity, for the hideous fat head that will now have a permanent residence on Sedberry. Yeah, whatever. They really went all out for us, and want to say a big thank you to them for all the cooperation. After the break, we'll come back. We'll get into Titans. We'll get into Tennessee, Virginia. We'll get into week number 1 of college football with, by the way, this question. How in the world did Nebraska not win last night against Minnesota? You talk about a gag job late. Oh, my God. It was absolutely painful to watch. And this is the continuance of what has been a huge problem around Nebraska football. Anyway, we'll talk about that and more during the 3 o'clock hour. You're watching Football Friday on the George Plaster Show. Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from, and for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
I'm Watson Brown.
I'm Kelly Holcomb.
I'm Billy Derrick.
We're the George Plaster Show. We've been Nashville's best sports talk for the last 30 years. And you know what? We still are.
Catch us live weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time in Nashville on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, the podcast version is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
So who said I can't be a golfer? Well, you know what? This is X Golf, located just down the road from the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is fun. It'll improve your golf game, and you need to stop in and check it out. 8138 Sawyer Brown Road, and who knows, I may get to 200 before it's all over. Okay, we welcome all of you back for what is hour number 2 of our Football Friday coverage. Our first hour each week is high school exclusive, and now we move on to the Tennessee Titans. It's time for Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update, which is brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. Lori wants to be your mortgage lady, and through the folks at USA Mortgage, that is absolutely possible. Give her a holler at 615-969-4350. Let's check in with Terry McCormick, Main Street Media. And Terry, what is the word from Titans Central?
They've actually got a day off today and a couple of days off coming up before they get back to business for real, starting Monday when they prep for the season opener against the New Orleans Saints down in the Superdome. Yesterday, George, there were several guys who weren't at practice, were not on the field. Some of those included Jeffrey Simmons, Arden Key, and Harold Landry. Now, wouldn't worry too much about most of those guys. I think they'll be ready to go. The one that I would have maybe some concern with is Arden Key, who's been out of practice for several days now with a calf injury. But the Titans added some depth yesterday to the roster in Trevis Gibson, formerly of the Chicago Bears. He had 7 sacks 2 years ago. So keep an eye on him and keep an eye on the Arden Key situation going forward, because it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be ready to give it a go or going to be even limited this first week of the season.
Terry, the way you had explained it several weeks ago, this team needed almost perfect health to be any good, that they cannot sustain the kind of injuries that they had a year ago. Do you feel any better about that now with the things that Rand Carthon has been able to do as far as depth, or is it still just simply they got to get lucky?
Well, I think it depends on the position. I think, running back, I think they're solid there. I think they're, with getting Traylon Burks back at receiver, I think that's going to help some. Obviously, they're going to miss Kyle Phillips there. The offensive line is still a major, major question mark. On the defensive side of the ball, I feel pretty good about the secondary, adding Kendall Villeneuve the other day from the Bears off waivers to provide a little depth there at corner. And I think that the outside linebackers, especially if Arden Key is healthy, they're going to be fine. And the defensive line is the strength of the team. Inside linebacker, I'm a little concerned about that. And like I said, the biggest one, though, is that offensive line. And then, of course, quarterback. If something were to happen to Ryan Tannehill, then in my mind, everything changes for this team, because whether you go with Malik Willis or whether you go with Will Levis, you're probably looking at a major change of plans in terms of what this team's ceiling is for 2023.
Let's take a quick preview of the opener against the Saints. Terry, we know that Derek Carr is now the man in New Orleans, and I think that's a real positive for the Saints. I've always been a Derek Carr fan, but the big weapon that I would be worried about isn't going to be there. Alvin Kamara, sitting out because of suspension, advantage Titans.
I would think so. Kamara is certainly a weapon. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can, take it and run with it. He's, dynamic in so many ways. The Titans actually feel like they maybe have a guy who's similar in skill set in Tajay Spears, who played his college ball right there in New Orleans at Tulane. This Saints team, the Titans are playing the NFC South this year, and the NFC South is not a very strong division. I would think that the Saints are probably one of the favorites to win that this year. The Falcons, possibly if they can get decent quarterback play from Desmond Ritter. And I wouldn't count Tampa Bay out completely if Baker Mayfield could bounce back to the form that he had 2 or 3 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I don't see the NFC South team going very deep in the postseason. And without Kamara, this might be the perfect time for the Titans to play the Saints because they're still getting used to Derek Carr and they won't have Alvin Kamara.
Hey, Terry, before we let you go, and I know this is not necessarily part of what you cover, am I right that Marcus Mariota made the Eagles?
I didn't see anything that said he got cut, so he must
I
be on
didn't
the
either.
roster.
I didn't either. And I was absolutely shocked because, to be honest, he was awful in the 2 games that I saw.
He was not very good in that one preseason game that I saw a little bit of, where he was overthrowing receivers and missing the mark a lot. The one thing about Marcus Mariota that continues to give him chances, though, is he is incredibly athletic. And you know how coaches are, George. There's always a guy who feels like he can be the one to unlock the potential that's there. They run an offense that is specifically designed to Jalen Hurts' skill set. And to me, Marcus Mariota, if they can get him, straightened up a little bit, then, he's the perfect complement to that in case they have to, go with him if something were to happen with Jalen Hurts and he were to miss some time.
Terry, we all root for him. Marcus Mariota is as good a human being as there is. His parents did an incredible job raising him. The brutal fact of the matter is it's an accuracy deal. And I don't know if Oregon back in that Chip Kelly era got people so wide open that his lack of accuracy didn't come to bite him and the scouts really didn't figure it out. But on the pro level, as those windows have shrunk, he's just not very accurate.
No, he hasn't been. And I think that that's some of it. The other thing, too, George, I really felt like he was on his way to being maybe not an elite quarterback, but certainly an above average quarterback, one that you could win games with in the NFL until he suffered that broken leg. To me, he's not been the same guy since that injury happened toward the end of his second season down there in Jacksonville.
Terry, first of all, thank you for great info. Have an enjoyable Labor Day weekend, and I guess you get a little time off as well as the players, and you have certainly earned that.
Well, thank you, George. You have a good weekend.
You too, and congratulations on Josh Donaldson being a Milwaukee Brewer farmhand.
Yes, he's going to be here in Nashville. Connor texted me when that happened. He said, "Hey, let's go get Josh Donaldson's autograph." And I'm like, why?
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, the child needs to grow up. See you, Terry.
See you, George.
I have messed with Connor for years. He used to love, Billy, we would do this show on Sunday nights, and Terry would bring Connor, and he would on purpose wear all this nasty Yankee garb. I mean, from head to toe. He is eaten up with it.
I'm sure you were just joyful when he walked into that studio every Sunday night.
Oh, very joyful.
Welcome, Connor.
Yeah, welcome. Get out of here. Don't bring this stuff in here anymore. So, next up on our list of things to do, yesterday, Rand Carthon, the Titans' new general manager, spoke to the media, had a press conference. He's had a busy August trying to make this a better roster because what he walked into was a team that had had a ton of injuries over the last 2 years, and depth was a huge problem. Here is Titans general manager Rand Carthon.
Thank our coaching staff first and foremost. I went around the other day after cut down and thanked all those guys for their work and how they developed these guys. It's kind of a trend that's been here, before the transition was made to bring me here. And I thank those guys because, the day you're calling these guys in to let them know that they didn't make the 53 is a tough time for not only them, but for us as well. And the overwhelming response when we were asking guys to potentially come back on our practice squad was yes. And they want to continue to work with our coaches. So that was a testament to them. So want to thank all of our coaches for that. And then the scouting staff, our pro department, Brian Gardner, Kevin Turks, Brandon Taylor, Rob Ritterer, Aaron Sanders, Michael Johnson, Corey Cooper, those guys wrote a ton of reports, this summer going through everybody's roster to help get us prepared for, not only cut downs, but the waiver claims. So those guys did a ton of work. I want to thank them. I also want to thank Sarah Bailey in our R&D department. She's come in and kind of taking the bull by the horns and, making this analytics department hers. And she did a lot of work on basically bringing the data in with the scouting. And it's amazing how it married, how we liked guys that were high on her list, just purely from an analytical standpoint. So it's truly been a collaborative effort, to get us this far. Feel good about where we are. Obviously there's still more work to be done. And, I don't think there's ever been an NFL team that once the roster was set that first day that made it through, the entire season that way. So we'll continue working to churn the roster and make the best decisions and build the best football team. So.
You talked about, 11 rookies overall. That's a fairly high number for a team that's, going into the season. That's about 20% of the roster. What went into keeping all 11 guys, all draft class, and 5 undrafted?
I don't think we even looked at it that way. I think those guys earned their spot. I think if you turn on the tape and you watch them, not only in the games, but you guys were here at practice. And I think all those people that made plays and did things in practice where they earned their way. Nothing truly was given to anybody. You guys know how Mike is and how he goes about business. So, all of those guys, whatever the number was, they earned their way, and it just made it easy to make the decision.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like these all-new boneless chicken wings. Juicy all-white meat.
I don't know if it's official yet, but I guess Travis Gibson, can you talk about him and maybe what the team liked in him?
Well, we're in talks with Travis, so there's still some procedural things that need to be done to, make it happen. So, we'll cross that bridge when we get there and be more than willing to talk to you a little bit more about it. But we're in talks right now.
Can you talk us through Nick Folk? What's he bring, and the kickoff situation the last couple of years for him has been kind of the downside. What do you envision there?
Well, Nick is a vet. He's kicked in, all types of weather, been in New York, been in New England. So he's someone that we trust to make kicks. And kickoffs is a part of his job. And, if they're not touchbacks, then we got, 10 people out there to cover them, and we expect them to do that.
What were considerations for trading for the kicker versus kind of waiting a day and seeing what happened on the wire? Just kind of what were those conversations like?
Well, like I said, our pro department did a ton of work and had us prepared for those scenarios of who may come available, who may not come available. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I have it written in the office, but there were several teams that had, 2 kickers on their roster, and, most teams are not going to keep 2. And so we did the research and felt good about our chances of getting someone here that we wanted to work with. And just another example of the collaborative process, well before we even made the, first moves to, release the kickers, got with Coach Ock and, Tom Quinn and Anthony Levine. And we had a running list of who we liked that could potentially come free, in terms of guys that were on teams. We had a list of guys that were on the street that we liked. So we had the position surrounded, from not only a scouting perspective, but from a coaching perspective, and felt good about getting someone here that we liked, that we felt could help us.
Evaluation of the young kickers, what's the plan with Cade York? How are you going to look to develop him over time?
Well, I think it's just like any other position, that we have on the roster. We have, 2 guys at outside linebacker. We have 3 guys, on the O-line that are, that we're here to develop. And I think Cade is no different. I don't think having Cade here on the practice squad has any effect on Nick, but he's just another young, talented player that we see talent in, that we love to develop and work with for the future.
And with a kid like that, obviously the talent is there, but there's something going on. Do you look into like sports psychology or anything like that?
Well, we have a staff here, Dr. Mondo, Coach Manu, and Dr. Sheila Peters. They're all here to, help our players. We have a great staff, and Frank and Todd, and they get these guys right from the neck down, and then we got a staff to help get them right from the neck up. So everybody has access to that, and, we're here to help develop Cade, whether that's on the field or off the field.
And where does he maybe fit in the group?
Kendall's just another guy that's played a ton of football in this league, started games. He can play outside. He can play inside. And it was just another way for us to get another talented players. As you guys know, you can never have enough corners, in this league. And so it was just an opportunity for us to, get better at that position and get guys in here that's played a lot of ball.
Those two young kickers, Rand, that you had through the offseason, is the evaluation of those guys just come down to, well, let's see what they do in these preseason games? I mean, are you surprised by how it turned out based on what you thought about them going into the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any other position. You want to give them the opportunity to earn their way. And, we saw them and felt like, we had a chance to upgrade the position. So we did. We released both at the same time, and then we brought in Michael Badgley. Gave him a shot at, just him being here by himself for a week, and gave him a shot. And again, we're never not looking, and that's at any position. And so we had the opportunity to get a guy like Nick Folk, who I said made a lot of kicks in this league. And so it's our job to always upgrade and get the best people here for us.
You talked about upgrading or developing Cade. How do you develop a kicker? You talked about two outside linebackers, but there are multiple outside linebackers that play at a time, or there are multiple outside linebackers that are up on a game day. How do you develop a kicker outside of just kicking the ball here?
If I told you how to develop a kicker, I'd be lying. I've never coached the position, so I don't know how do you develop a kicker. I just know that he's talented. He's made kicks in this league, and he's someone that Coach Ock and his staff want to work with. So that's our job as a personnel department, is to get talented people in here that our coaches want to work with. And how that development goes, when you guys have open practice, you can watch what Ock does, and that'll go into it. But I couldn't tell you how to do it.
So his development is on Ock.
Well, his development is on all of us in this building. You know what I mean? It's our job to get him here. Like I said, we have people to work with him from the neck down. We have people to work with him from the neck up. And so what we'll do is we'll continue to work with him, help him work through whatever it is that he's working through. But again, he's another young, talented player here that we want to work with, and hopefully has a future here.
This team has been a run-heavy type offense for several years, obviously with Derek, but this year only 3 tight ends and only 3 running backs on the 53-man roster. What kind of went into that decision?
Just playing with the numbers and where you can, again, create the best 53 and the best 16-man practice squad. At tight end, we're fortunate enough to get, Raider back, get Thomas O back. So we have guys there that we believe in and trust. And, running back is just a position that we went light. Like you mentioned, Derek, Derek's carried the load here, since he's been here. So he factors in there a lot. But again, it's manipulating the roster. And like I said, numbers are not finished. Doesn't mean that we can't continue to make moves. It's just where we are right now.
Knowing you still may do some tinkering, how do you feel about how this franchise has addressed the issues that last year's team had going into the opener?
Well, I think that was the number one thing in coming in here, and being in this role was to, address the things that we felt needed to be addressed. I felt like we did that. And, again, the work's not done, so we'll continue to do that. We had, 3 different wires yesterday, so still pouring through that. It's a lot of names, to go through. And I've challenged the pro department to continue to, look for guys that we like, that we had some level of like for, that maybe we thought potentially would get claimed and ended up on somebody's practice squad. So we'll continue to work that, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more about different moves that we'll make throughout the coming weeks. But that's our goal, and that's our job every day, is to find the best people to bring here.
Coincidence that your 2 vets are coming from Chicago, or did you have maybe extra good eye?
Nah, I think it's purely a coincidence. Obviously we played those guys in the first preseason game, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Travis had 2 sacks. One of them kind of pissed me off. I won't go into it, but it pissed me off. And so when the opportunity came and we saw him, we saw him as someone that fit our scheme, which was a cool thing. And then, just doing the research, understanding, feeling like we understand where Chicago is going as a defense and the possibility of getting, Vildor and having a guy in that plays, multiple positions for us at the corner spot, helps us.
First, how do you think he's kind of developed in the couple months since he's been here, and then how you like what looks to be your starting O-line right now?
Peter is who we thought he was going to be. He's just a consummate pro from the moment he stepped in. He's been a young vet, if you will. Just the way he goes about his business, the way he prepares, the way he works. He came in and had to learn our way and how we want things to be done, and some techniques that he may not have done before at Northwestern. But he's bought in. He works his tail off, and he's about where we expected him to be. And then just overall, again, our coaches do a hell of a job of developing these guys and getting the buy-in. And I truly mean it when I say it. It's not smoke. To sit there with these young men that we brought into the room and Mike and I talking to them, it was a cool experience and overwhelmingly, positive experience with every guy who's been here. And it kind of permeates throughout the league. Like, people want to be here. You know what I mean? And that's a testament to our coaches and the way they go about their business. There's never not a moment where these players don't know where they stand, don't know what the expectation is. And so that makes it, as a former player, that makes it easy to go out and do your job when you know exactly what they want and what you're being coached to do.
Okay, that is Titans general manager Rand Carthon. More and more, I really like the way he handles himself in press conference settings. He just kind of tells you exactly what it is he's thinking. Billy, if you will, I want to run up on a comment or two that got put out while we were running this, and I want to address a couple of them. Let's see.
What do you have to say about that, George? Titans have the best wide receiver duo in the NFL.
And then underneath it, Crickets, Bueller. Okay, first of all, Ricky, get a clue. Okay? They're not the best receiving core in the National Football League. And until they signed DeAndre Hopkins, you could make the argument that it was the worst receiving core in the NFL. Is Hopkins an upgrade? Absolutely. He could be a huge upgrade for them. The secondary piece is Treylon Burks. At the moment, we're all hopeful. Okay, we are all hopeful about this young guy. Do we have the proof at this point that he's going to be good? Not quite. Are we hopeful? And if he is, does it become a much stronger receiving duo, 1 and 2? Sure hope so. But the concept that they are the best receiving core in the National Football League is ignorant. Take a look at Philadelphia. Ricky, for God's sakes, it's not even close. So don't give me all that Crickets crap, okay? That's an idiotic take, and I don't say this very often, but it's not even close.
He thinks since they signed DeAndre Hopkins, that elevates them to the best receiving core in the
listen,
league.
I think Hopkins is going to be very good here. We haven't gotten to see him yet, so we don't know at 31 what's left in the tank and what isn't. I don't think this is going to be a Julio Jones where he brings absolutely nothing to the table. But this does not elevate them to the top of the NFL receiving core. Burks would have to prove for some time that he gets to that point, and it simply hadn't happened. Anyway, we'll go to the break. We'll come back and do a little tale of the tape of the Tennessee-Virginia game tomorrow at Nissan Stadium. I'll give you this one hint. I think it's going to be a blowout. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Celeste Middleton, a State Farm agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I want to help my neighbors and local businesses be proactive and assess their risk before something unexpected happens. We want you to have a thorough understanding of your coverages to have the best protection when you need it. We can create a personal price plan for you. Our team has over 70 years of experience helping people in Middle Tennessee. We have an awesome team with integrity and provide honest and prompt communication, and we love what we do and genuinely care about everyone we work with at our office. Give us a call at 615-895-2700, send us a message at celestemiddleton.com, or walk in at our office at 803 North Thompson Lane in Murfreesboro. We would love to earn your business.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications, and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Single game tickets are on sale now.
Star Physical Therapy was established in 1997 with one great mission: to serve. If you're hurting, don't wait to receive physical therapy. You don't need a referral to see their physical therapist, and early morning and evening appointments are available. Make the call to 615-673-1420 and get rid of that pain. Star Physical Therapy, the official health provider of Football Friday.
Convenience and value, 2 words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
Well, as most of you know, tomorrow morning around 11 o'clock, Tennessee and Virginia will go at it from Nissan Stadium. So let's take a look at a little bit of a tail of the tape. And I think most of you will be able to figure out exactly where I'm going with this. Billy, unless Virginia is making an absolute boatload of money out of coming here, I have no idea why they wanted this matchup.
Well, yeah, I mean, for Virginia, they've struggled last year. Tony Allen in his second year, and for Virginia, for them, it's almost like you just want to stay healthy in this one. I mean, Tennessee's a 28-point favorite, and so I think for Virginia, they won't have many fans there. So I think they're probably looking back at this decision from a couple of years ago, saying, "Man, I don't know if we'll do this again because of the situation having to come to Nashville and face up against Tennessee." So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, can Tennessee really dominate them, right? Who knows? Maybe Virginia comes out and plays better than people think, but I kind of doubt that.
Well, I'll go to the bottom for a second under intangibles. Other than maybe going to Clemson and Florida State, I don't think Virginia will face quite the ferocity of a crowd that they're going to get tomorrow at Nissan Stadium. I would assume 90 to 95% of that crowd will be Tennessee Orange, and that's certainly not going to help them. I brought up in the intangibles the turnovers. Virginia had a -9 a year ago. They were one of the worst in NCAA Division I, and for them to win tomorrow, they've got to win the turnover battle, probably 2 or 3.
Yeah.
If they turn it over, they're going to get boat raced.
Yeah, that would be the 50 burger, and maybe even a little bit more. I mean, I've heard some people talk about a 60-point win. In Virginia, they've got to take advantage of the mistakes that Tennessee might make as well.
So Tennessee obviously has the home team check mark. I think they have the running game check mark as well, because a year ago, as good as Hendon Hooker was throwing the football, their running game was really good.
Yeah.
In fact, I think probably better than even they expected it would be.
I think this is going to be one of those games for Tennessee where they don't have to drop back and let Milton just dice up the Virginia defense. They can run the ball, similar to the Vanderbilt game last year, right? Where Tennessee, it was wet, it was rainy. They just said, all right, we're going to run the ball and we're going to win this game. I think they almost rushed for 400 yards in that game against Vanderbilt. So this could be that type of game. And I think you'll see Nico in the second half as well for Tennessee. And, Josh Heupel, he's not going to slow down even though his backup quarterback is in the game. So I think that's why a lot of people think this could be pretty ugly.
So passing game clearly in Tennessee's advantage. They are
really? No, I'm kidding.
Big shock there. Huh? And then defensively, Tony Basilio has talked with us on Tuesdays. He thinks Tennessee defensively has found some things between spring ball and fall practice, and that they might be considerably better.
You heard a lot of good things about the front seven with, even though Byron Young is gone, they've got a lot of guys in there that they think can make an impact. So it'll be interesting. But the secondary, George, that was the question last year. How improved is the secondary? This isn't really a test against Virginia. They don't have they don't have an electric passing attack. So we won't really see how improved Tennessee's secondary is probably until that Florida game in Gainesville. But yeah, front seven, Georgia, I'm interested to see them and see how much havoc they can cause in the backfield for Virginia.
So you want to know how bad do I think it's going to be? Do we get to the final score here?
Well, you have to verbally
really
present that.
So in other words, I got to go back through my notes. Let's see what score I put out.
I've got it right here, 47-9.
Yeah. Where did I get to 9? Touchdown and a safety. Who knows?
But I'm thinking something similar. Maybe even 55-6 or 7, or just something where Tennessee just swallows them up. And so it'll be fun though.
But that's the beauty of a first game is you never know for sure.
You never know. Maybe Milton goes down and Nico has to go in and they struggle. But
yeah,
you never know.
It's the beauty of game one is that there are so many things that you don't have full answers for. Anyway, that's what we think. And now let's get to the fun.
Plaster's Bets of the Weekend, brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. Give them a call, 615-242-9000, or log on to bartdurham.com. First things first, let's check out what happened last night.
Ugh.
Kent State.
Want to congratulate Kent State for scoring.
Yeah, congratulations, Kent State. You put up, 6 points?
6.
God.
They gave up 56.
I guess there was a reason they were up. Their line was 37 or 38 or something like that.
They made John Rice Plumlee look like a Heisman Trophy winner.
And
Good Lord!
And you were negative on.
I was
Plumlee.
pissed.
And then Utah ended up beating Florida 24-11.
That was my good call.
Florida looked awful, so that was pretty easy. Minnesota ended up they won, but they didn't cover. So,
well, they're lucky as all get out to have won. Nebraska gagged it. I mean, there's no other way around it.
they
Nebraska,
had a chance there at the end.
Yeah, they were the better team. They were winning the line of scrimmage. The fumble with 4 minutes left changed the game.
Yep.
And if you look, Nebraska in the Scott Frost era lost a lot of games late where they would have a lead and then not close the deal. And you know that Matt Rule on the way back to Minnesota probably told his kids, this is not going to continue.
Yeah.
We are going to put a stop to this.
Well, he's got a big job, big task. I mean, that's hard to change the mental psyche of a team like that, especially when, when it gets late as a historical program, you haven't found a way to pull it out. So we'll have to see what they end up doing.
So we got 4 of them for you. And let me start with what I think is the national game of the weekend. Neutral site in Orlando, although I don't think there'll be anything neutral about it. LSU's likely to have a bigger fan base, but I'll be interested to see what the crowd makeup is. I just have this gut feeling that the kid at Florida State, Travis, electric. Toward the end of last season, he was scary good. And if he's scary good on Sunday, they're going to find a way to cover, and they may find a way to win.
I just think LSU's better. It's hard for me to pick Florida State just because of the talent LSU has. Now, they don't have their running back, their starting running back. They don't have one of their better defensive linemen either. So that I think is something to watch in this game.
So the second game is tonight at 10 o'clock.
I like this pick.
Yeah, when you come home from the high school game of your choice, check out Hawaii and Stanford. Stanford was god-awful a year ago. So was Hawaii. But the Hawaii we saw Saturday had improved considerably.
Yeah.
They could throw the football, and if they're able to throw it that well tonight, I think not only do they cover, I think they win.
I agree. I think Hawaii is a very much improved team. Braden Shager looked really good against Vanderbilt. Now it's Vanderbilt. Maybe Stanford is improved on defense, but I kind of doubt it. So I like that pick.
The third game is a big Sun Belt matchup of 2 programs that have really improved. Tulane, of course, went to a major bowl game. Remember, they got to the Cotton Bowl, beat USC. Great moment for that program. They're at home. South Alabama is better. This might be one of the better games of week 1. But that said, I'm going Tulane.
Group of 5 just keeps getting better and better. A lot of the talent, a lot of D1 transfers. Michael Pratt at quarterback for Tulane. This will be fun.
The last one is sort of a sexy pick that a lot of people are going with, that Texas San Antonio can go to Houston. I am. And I'll tell you this, if Texas San Antonio has a great year and Jimbo bombs out at College Station, that guy is going to be heavily rumored at A&M.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think that's a good take right there.
Are we done?
We're done.
Okay. We've had a good week. Hope all of you have enjoyed what it is we've put out there. Like most of you, we are going to take Monday off, and we're appreciative of a Monday off for Labor Day. All of you enjoy the holiday weekend. Drive safely. We want you back safe and sound on Tuesday. And again, thanks to the folks at Nashville Christian, in particular, head coach Jeff Brothers, who put all this together for me and really got their student body into a great turnout.
He said, stay tuned for the next one here. It's going to be fun.
Said we're going to do it in the gym.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. All of you have a great weekend. See you Tuesday.